And welcome back to Baseball Barbacast. We are now very excited to be joined by Mr. Jurrangelo Cijntje. Jurrangelo, thank you so much for joining us. I know you've been talking to a lot of people today.
Yep.
I know you've been asking a lot of the same questions. We're going to do our best. We're going to do our best to give you something a tiny, tiny, tiny bit different. What I want to start with is 2016 in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Because this is something you might see on the bio. Oh, we played in the Little League World Series.
Yeah.
But as two people who have been there and attended it a few times, it is a very, very special place. And Curaçao's history with the Little League World Series is very, very extensive. So talk about your experience there, and then I have a few more Curaçao baseball questions.
So it was like 2015. We actually like play in the Caribbean, and it was like in Curaçao, but we didn't make it that far. We lost in the semifinals, and I think Dominican they go that year, and I was like, nah, next year I have to go. It's gonna be my last year playing to actually try to go to Williamsport, and I would do like everything just to go to Williamsport. And then 2016 we went in Curaçao, and then we played in St. Croix. We like beat everybody. We just like dominate everybody, and then we go to Williamsport, and just to be there, it was like just hella fun. Even though we didn't make it that far, but we just enjoyed just be around. And I think it was like just being like 13 years old, you see like 12,000 people watching the game.
Oh, yeah.
It's like something big.
And on TV, right?
Yeah.
The crowd is amazing, and
Yep.
the atmosphere there is special. Now, you mentioned that year before, that motivation to get there, but because of the history with Curaçao and the Little League World Series, I imagine that dream starts even earlier.
Yeah.
Is that something that you talk about when you're a 4, 5, 6-year-old?
Yeah, just for people listening, you know, the Jerks and Profar played in the Little League World Series. I believe
Jonathan
Scope.
Yep.
and
Sedan
his
Rafaela,
brother.
right? Rafaela was playing on that team.
So that's something you grow up understanding, right?
I mean, it's everybody's dream just to go to the Williamsport, and especially you're watching like TV and see the guys that like you actually like look up to, and they go play in the Little League World Series, and I was like, that's
Like,
pretty
do you remember that? Like, do you remember as a kid watching Profar? Like, is that in your head?
I mean, not Profar, but I mean Rafaela. I know him pretty well because we kind of played like in the same team, and just watching them like play on TV. And I mean, we watch a couple games. I mean, when you go back on YouTube, you will see like highlights of Profar, Jonathan Scope, and I think it's like pretty dope.
So you had a slightly different journey. You know, some of the players that have come out of Curaçao did sign out of Curaçao. You had the opportunity to move to the United States, play high school baseball in Florida, and I'm curious what that transition was from the level of baseball you were playing, obviously very high because we know the talent level on the island, to playing high school baseball and some of the best high school baseball you can really have. So what was that like when you moved to the Miami area and start facing some of the best high school players in America?
I mean, it was pretty it was like amazing, especially just to be like playing with the top players like Elijah Green, Drew Jones, and play with them. Like they're like in the top of the draft that year, and just to be like around them and play the baseball, even they like on the same team, it was like pretty dope. And you also have like Tamar Johnson, you pitch against them, they're like one of the best in our class. So I think just like compete against them, and also just like the person they are and have fun. I think it was just pretty dope.
Because when you're on the island, I would imagine you're playing against the same kids over and over and over again because it's such a small place, and they're, baseball's such a big deal on the island, but there just aren't enough people.
Yeah.
So you probably were just like pitching to the same hitters
Yeah.
over and over and over again, and then you get to the States and it's like, whoa, like I get to compete against Drew Jones, against Tamar Johnson, against Elijah Green, a different style of player.
Yep.
I'm curious now to the first time you came to the Combine, because you were a big prospect. I would say people who follow the draft knew who you were. People who follow SEC baseball knew who you were. But when you went to San Diego and you threw with both of your arms, and someone tweeted it out,
not just somebody at MLB,
at
it's
MLB
like,
tweeted
check
out,
this out.
This is wild. Take me back to that day. Like, what was your phone like that day?
I mean, it was blowing up because MLB posts you, like all your friends back home is like posting you, tagging you, and everybody like calling me. I was like, you made it. You on like they posting you on MLB. I was like, it's pretty dope, but at the same time, I was like, I came to do something, and I won't like let these like type of stuff just stop me to keep going. It's
Right.
Right,
just
you're like, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, it's
Like,
just
I've been
yeah.
doing what I've been doing,
Yeah.
and then they just happened to post the video. And
Yeah.
there were moments in high school where Perfect Game would post the video and it would get a couple hundred retweets. But this was like, again, when MLB's Choose and Showcase it. Was there one person that you saw? I don't know how closely you're following social media.
Like a
but
famous person
Was there
who
one
liked it?
player or someone that you said that shared it 2 years ago that really caught your attention?
I mean, you can say that CC, he always
Okay.
like repost my stuff. Ozzie Albies and Jonathan Scobie always like my stuff too. So it's just pretty dope. Just have these people repost my stuff.
Was that the first experience you had with CC, or is that someone you had a connection with beforehand?
I have like connection before with CC.
That's great. So I want to know about your transition to Starkville because Curacao and Miami, I would imagine that's a big jump. But going from Miami to Mississippi,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a different type of place. Like, walk me through your first kind of month on campus of getting your feet wet as a college student
Yeah.
in a place that's very different than home.
I mean, before actually like school start in August, I go like to summer school over there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a month and a half, and I think I already like started like getting like just a taste of it, like how it will feel just to be like a college student, and especially in Mississippi and somewhere I never like imagined I will be at. So I think just like it was like going like you stay at a dorm, go to the class, and it was like my first experience like all that, just like being as a college student. And I was like, and it was like no baseball because I mean we go to the field, just hit a little bit and or like throw, but just like go to the dorm, go to class, eat, and then probably go back to the dorm, then go back to class. And I was like, I think there's something I can do for 2 years before I actually want to like play pro ball. And I think that was like the best thing I could do, just go to summer ball, the summer class, and just trying to get my get a feel on it.
Yeah, starting early, I
What
have
was-
to imagine helps that.
What was the food transition like? Was there anything that you were like, I've never eaten this before, or like this is new, or this is weird about Mississippi?
I mean, they cook a lot of like barbecue stuff.
Yeah.
I think I'm a barbecue guy, so
Okay.
I think it's good.
We were because we had Dakota in here
Yeah.
and he was telling us that when he was in the outfield,
They
Yeah.
probably feed him.
They
Yeah.
were feeding him during games in the outfield.
Which is just very relatable because if I was standing out in the outfield and I'm
Yeah.
smelling what they're cooking
Yeah.
out beyond the left field fence, I'm like, hey, yo,
Can you
sauce me
smell
some
it?
brisket? Let's
Can
go.
you smell it from the mound? If
Yeah.
you're on the mound at the dude, can you smell the smoker out in the
Yeah,
outfield?
you can.
You
Is
can?
it distracting? Is it motivating? Like, man, if I can get through this game really quickly, pitch well, give
I
them
get
7
some
scoreless.
brisket.
I mean, they
we're
used
eating
to.
good.
I pitch on Saturday, so every like Friday and Sunday they will feed me in the bullpen because
you're hanging out in the bullpen for those
Yeah.
games.
And
You're doing
I mean,
right.
before the game, I
Yeah.
would just be in there. They would just like hand me some hot dogs, and I would just be like eating.
That's great.
So I don't know what your perception was of college baseball growing up, or SEC baseball, but did it live up to? I mean, maybe you didn't have any expectations, but what was that experience like? Because we talked about this with Dakota Jordan too, but like the experience of playing at Mississippi State is not like
Yeah.
that many other places, but that's the experience you got to have. Did it live up to the hype? Was it even
Yeah.
more over the top than you expected?
I think because my cousin, he also like he haven't played in Mississippi State, but he played against Mississippi State in like on the duty noble field, and he was like always telling me. I remember like when I came in the state, we were like watching highlight of the game, and he was like, "I play in that field, and that's like the best field I ever played in college." And I think it was just the able like to get an offer to play at Mississippi State. And to actually like experience that, I think that was like a big deal. for
Because
me.
it's as big league as it
Yeah.
gets in
Yeah.
college baseball.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the fan environment, but the facility.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is the biggest stadium in college baseball in terms
Yes.
of seats, besides Omaha.
Right.
And so to pitch in front of that many people, to have that many eyeballs in front of
Yeah.
you, like obviously this is bigger,
Yeah.
and one day you'll have this and it'll be bigger. But you felt comfortable throwing in front of so many eyes by the end of the season, right?
Yeah, I think it's just like when I'm on the mound, sometimes I just like I don't even know there's like sound, or it's just like me and the catcher and the hitter and probably the umpire behind the
Right.
catcher. It's just sometimes I don't even hear nothing. It's just like my focus level is just like too high.
Right.
And it's just like when I'm walking down the mound, like you can hear all the. That's like I can hear like all the cowbells.
Oh.
That's like it's like actually I'm still like here.
Really? Yep. I'm
yeah.
a Starkville. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. We always joke. We do a lot of college baseball coverage, and we always. I don't blame these kids, but we always laugh at like the midweek team that comes in.
Yeah.
And they get there on
Oh.
Tuesday, and they like go in the dugout, and they like got their phones up. And like, oh, I gotta put this on Snapchat. I'm at the dude. Check this out.
The kids
Yeah.
from Binghamton are like
This is-
FaceTiming their
This
parents.
is
Yeah.
crazy. This is, but also it's like I can't really blame them because
Yeah.
no one else really has that experience. I'm also curious about. So you said when you're at home, it's comfortable. You got your fans, everyone's supporting you. What about the road SEC environments? When you get to pitch on the road, I mean that's fun for different
Yeah.
reasons, and
Yeah.
it seems like you're pretty good at tuning that out. But what was that experience like? As well?
I mean, you can always like pitch like on the road, but sometimes I get like, I mean, even though like sometimes I just like cancel everything out, but you can hear them like scream like something bad, like they trash talk and say something like probably you don't like, but you still just
And it's more fun when you're pitching well.
Yeah. Where'd
And,
you get to
yeah.
pitch this year
Yeah,
for the away games?
I pitch at Arkansas,
Okay.
Ole Miss.
it's a good one.
We didn't play. We play Auburn at home this year.
LSU, Tennessee,
We play we play Tennessee, but in the SEC
in
tournament.
the SEC tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hoover's
I mean,
a little
we-
different.
We play a couple like I can't probably remember right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. So, we mentioned how you were here 2 years ago at the Combine, and now you have proven it against the SEC competition. When you think back and you watch that video of you at the Combine 2 years ago, or your high school videos, what's changed since then? Why are you? What has improved? And when you think back to that, like, what are the biggest differences between Cijntje, the pitcher as a high schooler in Miami, and the one that is now getting ready to start his pro career?
I think I would definitely say like growth. It's just like I would just like getting my feet wet a little bit and see what I can actually expect in the college, and just like bounce back from a rough year of freshman, and it's just like learning process. And I think this year it just was like, I mean, you get your foot wet a little bit, and this year you got to be able to step up and just trying to help your team win games. And it was like one thing, just stuck to yourself and be like comfortable on the mound and just do what you do best. So
The big thing, like when I, seeing you now and watching video 2 years ago, I mean, you're just a lot stronger right now. It seems to me for you as a pitcher who's like lower to the ground, feeling stable and confident and athletic in your lower half kind of allows you to maintain better control and command of your pitches.
yep.
Was there a moment in college when you felt physically comfortable where you realized I am stronger than I was? Did it ever click for you like that?
I would definitely say this year because I came in like my freshman year I was like 170, and this year I'm like 200.
Yeah.
So I can actually feel I'm way stronger.
And do you feel that in what you're able to do, what your stamina is, how you're feeling in the sixth inning compared to, last year as you're going deeper into outings? Because that's certainly what stood out, especially as the season went on, is it's not just that all the stuff is ticking up, it's that it's looking as good as it is in the first inning as it is in the seventh.
Yeah.
Is that really where you felt it? Is that stamina and pitching deeper into ball games, or is the actual just pitched from a pitch-to-pitch basis?
Just think about the next pitch and just keep like making pitches. But the one thing that I actually do, just to say like at least, I mean, I gain a couple more pounds, but the one thing that I actually do so I can stay like athletic, just like getting like a lot of ground balls still and shortstop, just to keep moving.
So that's what, right. We asked you before the last time you had picked up a bat, and that's something that a lot of high school players who, of course, play both ways in high school, they have to, usually choose. We have some good two-way players in college. But you mentioned that. We're staying athletic. We're taking infield.
Yeah.
Is that something, I assume that was the position that you were playing the most growing up and whatnot, and that's something that the coaching staff is like, yeah, go ahead. He's one of our best pitchers, but go ahead, take as many ground balls. Are you not allowed to throw, or how does that work?
Yeah,
Because I assume they don't want you whipping it over there all the time.
They always
starts.
gaming. I mean, I can just go on the field, get ground balls. Just I'm not allowed to throw the first.
Field bucket.
Yeah.
Field bucket. I love that.
But you said that was kind of a key, and maybe something you'll continue into pro ball, assuming teams want to let you down. Again, that's the other thing. Looking forward, so much has changed for you over the last few years. Coming from home, moving to Miami. Now you're pitching in Mississippi. What are you excited about? What do you when you think about your pro career and this next step for you? What are you most curious about in pro ball? And what are you most excited for?
To see like how much like I can keep like improving more, and I always like everybody told me you do good this year, and I always think there's always room for do better, and I think it's always I can be better. So that's one thing I always think, just if you're good right now, but you can be better, so just keep doing what you're doing.
My last question for you is about home, is about Curacao. Like, how often do you get to go back?
Once a year.
Once a year. And so when you go, probably for what, like 2 weeks, a week?
Yeah, I will go like 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks and a half.
Tell me about a day when you're down there. What are you doing? Where are you going? Who are you seeing?
You will go to eat, and
What's the best food on the island? Like, if I was there for one meal, where would you tell me to go?
I mean, you can go a lot of places, but
Okay.
I don't eat a lot of like seafood stuff. I mean, people in there, like in Curacao, they like seafood.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I actually like is red snapper.
Red snapper.
Yeah.
Okay, red snapper on the island. And then,
Yeah.
like, you're going around seeing family, or you getting workouts in, seeing all your friends that you don't get to see all the time?
Yeah, I go to see my family, and probably if I'm home, I will. Ozzie will like text me and say, "I'll come pick you up. We can just go fish, or I go to his house. We can just play video games." And if it's like we don't have nothing to do that day, we might just go to the field throw. He will hit. I will watch him hit, or I will get just grab the bat, just have fun too.
Ozzie Albies, that is a man who does love fish.
Yes. Well, what I was going to say is that's actually a good one to end on, because, listen, you've been asked enough about your switch pitching, but you mentioned Ozzie, and it makes me have to ask, as a switch hitter for him, I don't know if you've done live ABs with him or not, but do you guys just kind of go back and forth and back and forth and go left on left, left on right, right on? Like, how does that work? And how long have you known him?
I mean, I know him for probably you say more than 5 years.
Okay.
Because especially I play with his brother in not probably like Little League. I think it's like we were like 10, 11.
Yeah.
And I play with his brother, so I know him since probably just more than that.
And you have pitched to him?
No, he stand in the box one time though. Even I was like throwing bullpen and he was just watching. I was throwing bullpen with my dad. My dad was like catching me, and he just hopped in like in the box. And I was like, nah, I'm taking that ball deep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once you get into pro ball, I hope you get to get some work in with him in the offseason.
Yeah.
And I just need the video of you facing him this way and then you facing him this way. And you guys are just going back and forth and back and forth.
That's good. Ozzie's he's one of a kind, man. That's
that
that's a good guy to kind of have in your corner. And listen, I could talk about Curacao baseball all day, but you have been so gracious with your time, Jurrangelo. Thank you so much for joining us, and good luck with whatever is next, wherever is next. We're definitely rooting for you.
Thank you.